Hey guys, it's Clay from Clear Critique. Summer is here and it's hot, and theaters with all of their delicious air conditioning are opening up everywhere. Today I'm going to quickly discuss 5 movies that are coming out in August, when and where to watch them, and whether they're worth it. As always, I'm giving each a grade of watch, wait a while, or avoid. Be sure to subscribe to support the channel and write your own ratings of these movies in the comments. Let's do this. First is Candyman, a remake of the horror film from 1992. Since I review much horror, I always run into the internal debate of whether a certain classic holds up. Horror probably has more cult favorites than any genre, and truthfully, the original is a bit overhyped. It's not frightening, it moves like molasses, and it's shot like a PSA. Still, it does offer 3 things of interest, and that's the use of bees, Tony Todd's performance, and being set in housing projects, which is a fresh concept to this day. So the hope with the remake is that it capitalizes on these traits. Onto the marketing, there have been 3 trailers, and the first is, and this is not a word I use lightly, amazing. The use of puppetry proves, yet again, that limitations of the form can be even more effective. It's disturbing, the melody is perfect, and it sends chills through me every time I watch it. The second trailer is the worst, containing the irritating trope of dramatic cover songs I mentioned in a recent video. Who thought Destiny's Child would make for a good horror song, and where can I find their supplier?
I think I made a mistake. I brought him back.
I don't care that it ties in with the character's gimmick, it sounds stupid. The third trailer meshes the first 2, and it's alright. Splicing in images from that effective teaser is a bit awkward. What is promising here is the visual component, as the film clearly isn't shying away from gore and the blood looks good from what I can see. I also appreciate that both bees and mirrors are being utilized again and in a more visceral way. The biggest challenge will be making such a violent and modern film work with a say the name in the mirror hook. Because while I champion the setting and bees and themes, this aspect is, how do I put this? Slumberific? It's cheesy and outdated, and we'll have to see how Candyman is able to marry that with the blood splatter and social commentary. Love the gore, love the music, love the eerie potential, but the corniness and scatterbrained marketing aren't fully selling me. Candyman will be in theaters August 27th, and I'm giving it a wait. Next is Respect, the upcoming biopic about the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. Casting for this role must have taken about 3 seconds. They probably didn't even get the name out. Like, hey, we're doing a biopic about Jennifer Hudson, it's a perfect match. And no doubt the main draw of the film is watching the accomplished actress belt out classic soul tracks. Those parts of the movie will likely be enjoyable. On YouTube. 6 months down the line. See, biopics, especially musical ones, have garnered a fair amount of criticism for their uniformity. It's the same plot, same sluggish pacing, same obstacles and themes, it's the same movie. Sure, some are better than others, and once in a while a musical biopic squeaks through the system with some actual originality, but there's a reason spoofs like Walk Hard basically write themselves. Thinking about the development of this film reminded me of a specific kind of bad conversation. You know, the bizarre kind, when one person is describing something as a negative, and the other person, unaware of this, is kind of nodding along like it's a positive, and it just kind of keeps going until someone catches on. The producers here must have been told what pitfalls to avoid when making a biopic, and they reacted like, yep, okay, love interest, devoting a chunk of the first act to them as a precocious child? Totally. And then they added them all to the script. Just in the trailer, every cliche imaginable presents itself. And I can't shake the feeling that this was conceived not as a story, but as a checklist. Some people want the easy, predictable matinee, and that's fine. But I feel like if such films are going to be this lazy, they might as well be on TV. If you're going to cover someone as influential and powerful as Aretha Franklin, you better bring the heat. And this has the dial deliberately, firmly set to lukewarm. Respect opens in theaters August 13th, and it gets an avoid from me. Next is the horror film The Night House, directed by David Bruckner. Bruckner seems to be following the classic Hollywood trajectory. He started by directing several short films for horror anthologies, and even the most jaded of artists can admit that, yes, sometimes simple great work reaps benefits, because Bruckner's work was routinely the highlights of these films, and through this, he was given better projects. Amateur Night from VHS is still the scariest short film I've ever seen. His contributions to Southbound and The Signal are the best parts by a wide margin. His first full-length feature, The Ritual, which did suffer from a protagonist who may as well have been played by a 2x4 with a 5 o'clock shadow, was still very well directed. And now he gets his second feature to premiere at Sundance with a respected lead in the role, and it's hard not to appreciate that journey. The movie gained some strong reviews from its premiere for being both professionally crafted, as we should expect, and genuinely creepy. The trailer is nicely put together, but part of me wishes the main twist wasn't given away. Then again, without the twist, which I can best describe as a haunted house flipping a reverse card from Uno, less people would probably check it out. To me, some of the most disturbing and exhilarating horror movies deal with the surreal, where reality itself is malleable. Being able to sit down and watch images on a screen and yet feel like you've been kicked into some hellish oblivion, where you feel as vulnerable and scared as a protagonist, is, as a horror fan, just meh. My only worry is that the third act will explain all the mysteries, and as a result the scares will disintegrate, as in most fantasy horror. But I'll be honest, I've been tracking this film since 2020, so I was gonna see this regardless. Hopefully it'll make a spot on my next volume of 6 horror films that are actually scary, because I've got the space open and The Unholy sure as hell didn't fill it. Personal interest aside, the director, lead performance, solid reception, and engaging concepts are more than enough to give this one a go. The Night House will be in theaters August 20th, and I'm giving it a watch. Second to last is Free Guy, an action comedy starring Ryan Reynolds about a video game NPC, that's a non-player character for the uninitiated, who gains the ability to break his routine and start interacting with the world like actual players. I'll start by saying that Free Guy is a good concept on paper. We've had mixed results with films taking on video game logic, but there's still plenty more material to mine, and tackling the open world game genre is a smart, if not tardy, call. The world itself is obviously a mix of Fortnite and GTA Online, with all the ridiculous outfits, taunts, weapons, and joyous violence. Yet the trailers are strangely tempered. The music is either obvious or just ill-fitting. Lots of characters make cheesy proclamations, and the jokes are bland. It's toothless, edgeless, slurry. Reynolds looks stiff and held back, even when the character breaks the mold, so to speak. The visuals are terrible. This overabundance of ugly lasers and lights is starting to become a trend in electronic gaming-themed movies. Why does it look so boring? Why is this shot and written with so little imagination? It boggles the mind. It doesn't help that Taika Waititi promises to be obnoxious. Look man, you were funny as hell as Hitler, but these lines and your delivery of them make me want to punt something that breathes.
I'm a rule breaker, I'm a rattle chicka snaker.
Oh, there's not much else to say. Everything about this screams misfire and missed opportunity. Free Guy will hit theaters August 13th, and honestly guys, you can spend your money better. Last up is The Suicide Squad, a sequel to the 2016 Tire Fire now in the hands of James Gunn. The first Suicide Squad had its issues, but one of the biggest was how ugly it looked. This new entry both improves and kinda fails on this. For one, I love the costumes. They're garish and stupid and colorful and alone provide a sense of self-awareness. Killer Croc looked fucking stupid, and the mistake was that they tried to make him cool. Now we have a bug-eyed weasel and a shark man, and they look intentionally absurd. This is how you do it. On the other hand, the Suicide Squad, while not looking like diarrhea seen through sunglasses, is unsaturated and gray. It's like staring at a lid of a MacBook. The action looks pretty good. Some of the humor fails, but some works fine. Idris Elba, as the serious yet charismatic leader type, is a welcome change from Will Smith, who, let's all hug and accept this, hasn't given a good performance in almost 20 years. This concept can only work as bonkers, nihilistic Tank Girl meets Saints Row insanity. and based on these characters and set pieces, we may at least get a step closer to that if certain punchlines don't block the path too much. The Suicide Squad will be in theaters on the 6th of August, and I'm giving it a wait. What do you think of these movies? Also, something I haven't asked yet, how rude of me, are there any films coming out in September that you'd like me to discuss in the next video? Make sure to comment below, subscribe and click the bell icon to support the channel, and check out some other videos I've done about horror and video games. And as always, thanks for watching.